The crew is back in Only Murders in the Building Season 2, and today we're going to talk about the first 8 episodes, spoiler-free. What is up, Flick fans? Welcome back to my channel. I want to thank Hulu for sending me the first 8 episodes of Only Murders in the Building, but there are 10 total, so I have to wait a while for the final 2 episodes. But let me tell you, the way that this mystery is progressing, I have my theories and my ideas. But if you guys enjoyed the first season, get in that comment section, let me know down below. But let's talk about the synopsis of Season 2. Following the shocking death of Bunny, Charles, Oliver, and Mabel race to unmask her killer. However, complications ensue. First of all, the trio is publicly implicated in Bunny's homicide. Then they are now the subjects of a new competing podcast, and they have to deal with a bunch of New York neighbors who all think they committed murder. And that's where we leave off, thanks to that crazy kind of cliffhanger-ish ending. Bunny has been murdered. There's a new murder. Season 2 is afoot. And I love the fact that they reference that all throughout Season 2. They're like, man, do you think a new season of the podcast would be? I mean, how are we going to keep doing this? But life finds a way, and they continue to get new information and finding clues, getting excited for what's coming next. And our 3 main characters, all of them are facing and dealing with something different this season. And I love what they are each encountering individually, but how they can always come together and either make this podcast or try to theorize what is happening next. So essentially all the things that you love about Season 1, they carry over into Season 2. But this time around, we don't have to focus on getting to know them and the origins. And yes, there's a bit there with Mabel, but for the most part, we're moving into the future. And each individual character, like I said, what they're dealing with is pretty important. Steve Martin plays Charles. Charles is just trying to figure himself out, whether it be romantically or coming back for the TV show that made him into what he is, but it's not going to go the way he thinks, and that was a compelling part of this season. Martin Short as Oliver, we're on the familial side of things this time around. Has something to do with his son. I don't want to get into specifics, but it feels like we're always getting deeper with his character, even though there is this very surface level assumption of him, and he's obviously the most excited for the podcast. But the more we learn about his character, the more, if it's even possible, the more you come to love him. But for me, this season, Selena Gomez as Mabel, keeping our 2, exaggerated older characters kind of in check and grounded at the same time. Not only because of her past, but also because she was the one to kind of confront Bunny at the end of Season 1. She's really the one that is reeling with the fallout, and I felt that emotion from her conveyed extremely well. She's also very hesitant to get back into, as are most of the characters, to get back into the podcasting game. They're also dealing with an ever so slight amount of fame this season. There's like this fan club that follows them around. There are people that are rooting for them, people that, never in a million years would believe that they were a part of the murder. But the reason why they're doing it in this season is to not only entertain the masses, but to clear their name, because there's something else going on that's pushing up against where they were at the end of Season 1, and that's about as deep as I can get into it, but I found that to be really interesting. And of course, you're in it for the murder mystery this time around, and it's very different from Season 1, right? There are new players coming in, new characters, and new actors. 2 of those characters include Cara Delevingne as Alice, who I thought brought a different energy to this season, right? Everyone who comes into their lives, they're always a suspect in a way, but this inclusion, this role, I really, really enjoyed, and this is probably the most I've enjoyed seeing Delevingne on screen, so that was really cool. Then you have Amy Schumer, and a lot of people aren't big fans of Amy Schumer. For the most part, I'm not a big fan. I get what they were trying to do. It was fine, but she plays this overly exaggerated version of herself. Even without her character, I don't know if this was needed. I get it because she's trying to do something. It's very evident what she's trying to do when she first shows up, and there are conversations that are ongoing in kind of the first half of the season. It falls off a bit in the second half, which was nice because we were able to focus on the mystery, but I'm not entirely sure I was in love with that character. That's what I'll say. So, that was an aspect. And this season as a whole, right, there are subplots and a couple of storylines that they veer off on that, maybe aren't as interesting as the main mystery. But with that main mystery, that includes numerous characters, multiple storylines, one episode where you kind of get to see what Bunny went through the day leading up to her murder, and they're always dropping hints and clues throughout this show. And going back and rewatching season 1 for the second time, I'm like, okay, that's a hint, that's a clue. They're very strategic with what they're doing. Sometimes our main characters pick up on it, sometimes they do not, but it's always there for the audience, and that's what I love and appreciate about Only Murders. It's also just a really well put together show. I feel like the quality and even the pacing, with more storylines and more characters this time around, I feel like the pacing was better in season 2, because at the end of every episode, or even in the midst of the episodes, you're always on the edge of your seat, and we get a lot of character development. They are better than ever. They work so well together. There are arguments, there are fallouts, but at the end of the day, they are a trio for a reason, and they bring Only Murders in the Building just up to another level this time around. I don't know if everyone's going to like season 2 as much as season 1, because season 1 got us started on this path, but this season continues and grows our characters on a level that I was just so thoroughly impressed with. So there's not much more I can say without diving deep into spoilers, but if you'd like a spoiler-filled review when we get to the end of the season, be sure to drop your comments and your thumbs up. Let me know you'd like one, because I'd love to do it, and I am dying for those final 2 episodes. There's so much to love here. Our trio continues to grow together, and their development is top-notch. The new characters work for the most part, and the mystery will keep fans on their toes. As of now, episodes 1 through 8, I'm going at 88% with my score. Really enjoyed this season. I am loving what this show is giving me, and it's everything you want in a show like this. Thanks again for watching, guys. The first few episodes drop tomorrow. I'll see you soon.